Dun, dun, dun. Hello and welcome to Hello Chaos, a weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic minds and lives of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Hello Chaos is just one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for work in progress, because that's what we all are. Orange Whip is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities through hyperlocal media platforms that are designed to inform, inspire, and create connections to help founders along their journey, especially connecting them in their local market. We tell real, raw, and unbiased founder stories, and why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. Orange Whip is an all-in-one content hub for founders with fresh and engaging stories. We curate calendars in a local market and provide a curated, filterable resource directories for each affiliate city that we're in. So we've done all the hard work for founders, so they only need to go to one place, one trusted source to find all the local information they need to move along their journey. My name is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family call me JJ. I am the founder of Orange Whip and will be your host today. We release new episodes every Sunday, so check us out. Today we have Joey Loman, the founder of the DIY workshop at SynergyMill. Welcome to our, what do we decide? 68th episode?
68th episode.
The 68th. Woo-woo.
Very good.
Joey, excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's great. I've watched all of my friends be on your show, and this is just fantastic. I get to join the club. This is awesome.
Very much. Well, I'm glad. So before we get started, so who are the friends? Who are the founders that we share connections with?
Oh, geez, there's been a bunch. Sean Reed was on. Adam Anderson was on.
Yes.
Zach Eisenberry. All good friends from all over. And it's kind of strange as our stories have weaved. I've known these people for a long time and done business with them, and so it's really cool to see them get a spotlight. It's awesome.
Yeah. Did you learn things new about them on the podcast, or because those guys were all like almost stand-up comedians in there?
Yeah, good times. Yeah, Adam and I go way back. Cigar therapy days back 10, 15 years ago. So.
Oh my God, he is amazing. Okay, before we get started, I'm going to do an icebreaker. So if we did karaoke right now, what song would you choose and why? If you had to pick a song to sing.
Yeah. I am a musician, so
so your mind was like, you're going,
I'm going like this. And, I like the nice soft stuff like the Scorpions and Motley Crue.
Well, yeah.
But, just something exciting. And the thing is that, all these years I've played guitar and all that kind of fun stuff. I think La Cucaracha would be my song because it's pretty much, you don't have to sing. So that's what I would do is I would cop out and go, I would just scream La Cucaracha while, with all the tequila.
Yeah.
No, that's me.
I thought the ones that don't want to sing, isn't that, I'm not sure who sings it. Is it ZZ Top or is it the one that's just the one word in the song, tequila? Da, 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 da.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is right there. That song is my song. Yeah. That would be my walk-on song too, probably.
The walk-on song. Which one? Okay, Kristen, what would be your walk-on song? Your karaoke go-to? Because you're in the music.
I am, and I would love to say that it'd be something amazing, but I feel like my gut instinct would be "Strawberry Wine" by Jody Messina. Yep, that'd probably be it. That was Jody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why that'd be my one, but that'd be my one.
Mine is my go-to is Desperado.
Really?
By the Eagles. It's a tone.
Gosh, that's a great one.
Because my voice is, pretty weird and raspy. And so I can actually hit that tone pretty consistently.
Amazing. The biggest thing is you never want me singing karaoke, so play music for a reason.
Yeah. I'm not a musician. And but I do like to hear. I love music, but I'm not anywhere near a musician. So, Joey, we are excited for you to be here today. So tell us about your founder journey, your entrepreneurial journey, and about DIY Workshop.
Well, yeah. So it's a little bit about SynergyMill. SynergyMill is a makerspace. It's basically a big room with tools in it, and you can come in and make whatever you want. You have carpentry tools, welding tools, 3D printers, laser cutters, sewing machines, vinyl printing, whatever, painting tools, machining tools, hand tools. Pretty much, you can make just about anything here.
Did you have to provide? So did you just provide the space, or did you provide the space and all the toys and the tools to go? Okay, you can make whatever you want in this space.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the journey started.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell
me about it.
I was a kid growing up, only child, didn't have a bunch of friends. So I was by myself a lot, and so I had tools and I did stuff. I did computing stuff. I was one of those entrepreneurial kids that started at 12 and mowing yards and all that kind of thing.
Were you're in 80s, like you're a Gen X, right? So you're a latchkey kid.
Actually, I'm a 70s kid, born in the late 60s. And enjoyed the 70s, enjoyed the 80s, not much of the 90s, but yeah, I came around early on that one. Yeah, I had a bunch of tools at home, and I just, hey, why don't we get a bunch of people who make things and get them all together and see what we can all make. It's just a whole lot more fun when there's more people. Yeah,
right.
Right. So I donated all of my tools, and we were the first tenant in the next manufacturing building on Bernie Street.
Okay.
So we have about 3,000 square foot shop, and we've been here 7 years. This was our 7th year, and so we've acquired tools from donations, and we purchased some, and it's the synergy part of SynergyMill is that if we all kind of want a tool, we'll all pitch in and buy a tool.
Right.
And if it's not here, it's because we just didn't think that we needed that yet. So, if you get a group together and say, hey, we want to build a nuclear powered cryogenic time machine or whatever it is, we'll all pitch in and we'll see if we can find it.
Yeah.
So that's the synergy part. Yeah.
So do people kind of come in and like rent space, or they're like, okay, I want like 4 hours a time of just, I want to create and synergize and play with tools? Like what's the business model?
Yeah, so our business model straight out is like a gymnasium. I mean, if you take a Gold's Gym or whatever and you replace the word with SynergyMill, that's exactly what we have. It's a big room with tools in it, and you can come in whenever you want, or for a subscription, right? Monthly subscription, yearly subscription.
So it's a little membership
model. We also have spaces that, if you need extra space, we can rent you some space so you can keep your thing. We had a guy that built a teardrop trailer in here, and it's, so that works.
Wow.
But yeah, we're open to the community. Anybody can walk in if we're open. They can walk in and get help with something, figure things out. And we're a nonprofit makerspace, so people can make donations. Just if it brought you a lot of joy, give us some money. If you did something here and made $1 billion, give some back. And so, we have a really, really cool community of people who give back. And, it's one of our house rules that, just give more than you take. And we have, it works. There's just more people here.
What did you do before SynergyMill? Like, what was the lead up to? Have you always been in the entrepreneur space and owned your own companies, or did you work for somebody else and said, I'm done?
Yeah, I'm that guy that I don't want to work for you. I'm really hard with that. I'm difficult to get along with in those areas. But I've been involved in a whole bunch of companies, everything from, like when I was 12 mowing yards, all the way up through engineering, consulting. About 1999, 2000, I helped build a telephone company called Exop of Missouri near Kansas City. It was it was a telephone company. We bought a building, and you ordered our service, and we sent out a guy in a truck, and he wired you up. And that turned into digital TV. We did digital TV service and all that kind of thing, which got me into television and broadcast engineering. So that was 2000. And so that kind of started a side career of video engineering. And so my unintentional career turned out to be television production and engineering. So I build, and like right now I build, I'm a consultant to build television studios. So yeah, multi-camera shoots with all the switchers and blah, 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 all the stuff that makes
it. So you're the one that sets up, like Kristen's like, now you're speaking his language.
Yeah.
I ran a broadcast for a church for, 9 years. We had 14 cameras, raw switchers, the whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah. Love it. That's awesome. That's super great. Yeah. I got the same story. We should talk. Let's go have a beer.
Love that.
Yeah. So I did that, but there's all sorts of different companies that I've helped start up and make things work. And some were successful, some were soft, some were abrupt. Some real estate investing. I did that. I still own a bunch of houses. I didn't lose my shorts, but I've definitely lost the elastic out of them.
Right. Well, that's how property management and income. That's how you build wealth and keep it going. So out of all the part of your, what's been the most rewarding part?
I think that the most rewarding is being able to make things better, and it's kind of my personal thing. Wherever I go, I just want to make things better and help people learn stuff and help people figure stuff out. And after a while, you gather a lot of wisdom and experience. And the thing is that if you let somebody stand on your shoulders, they can get a whole lot further. It's a whole lot cheaper to learn through somebody else's experience, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It takes a lot less time and a lot less money. And and it's been rewarding for me to be able to help Utes figure it out. And and other people, help spread that knowledge and assistance that will give somebody a step up, that they shave a few years off of their time. So that's very rewarding for me, and I love doing that.
So what has surprised you the most, whether it's about starting this company or your other companies? What's the most surprising? That's kind of been like your the aha moments.
Well, there's a lot of those, and I think the one that kind of bubbles to the top for me is that I've had to realize that people don't think like I do.
In what ways? In what ways?
I've got a different the way I think. I take things and I twist them upside down and backwards to see if they work better. And a lot of people don't think the same way. They process things in a little different way, and that's okay. Everybody processes the way that they want to process.
Right.
They discover or invent the things that they want to invent the way that they do. But I think that it was a strange thing for me to realize that other people don't think like I do, or they aren't going to do what I want them to do.
Right.
And that came about with this particular venture with SynergyMill, is that I started SynergyMill with my mindset is I'm a maker. I'm always a maker. I'm a maker at home. I'm a maker here. I need a workshop. I have to have a workshop because I'm an entrepreneur inventor is what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to always be a member of SynergyMill, and I will always show up here every day. And then it was a shock to go, where is everybody? Why did they were here for 3 months and then they quit? What happened? Well, because they don't see it the way I do, and that's fine. And I had to make some adjustments with that, because our business model was that we would accumulate members and they would never quit. Well, no, that's not. And so we've had to adjust things and really meet our customer where they are and help them at the level that, and it's really not help, it's really assist. Help sounds like somebody's like drowning, and
right.
We're not helping you.
You're serving your community, like you said.
Yeah. It's an assistance. Let me assist you in getting, done what you want to get done. And if it takes a month, if it takes 2 months, if it's, an afternoon, whatever it is, how can I best help you? And that's kind of the pivot that I had to make. That aha moment was, how can I best help? And ask that question and let people tell me.
So a part of your pivot in terms of the community, it was more of, okay, you were kind of saying, hey, if I set it up, you guys will use this like a gym, versus you come in and you're like, okay, we need to pivot because somebody needs a personal trainer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And there is there are a lot of people that never use tools.
Yeah.
I've had a couple in here that have, like, I've never turned anything on. And it was so much fun to help and to let them discover and watch their light bulb come on, and then to see that they made something and discovered it, and the joy that came out of that was absolutely rewarding. And so, we provide the space for that kind of experience to happen, and that, I love that.
Yeah. What was the biggest kind of like, oh crap, like, oh my gosh, what have we done? Have you experienced any of those? And what lesson did you learn out of that?
I fail a lot, and I fail at a whole bunch of things, and I screw a lot of things up. So and there's a lot of oh shit moments that happen.
Yeah.
COVID was one that was, hey, it was a huge impact to the business model of what we had, because when your business model is getting people together to have a good time and do stuff, and then all of a sudden you can't, what do you do, right? And so we had to figure out how are we going to pivot what we do into surviving. So we did the face shields and the masks and all of that kind of stuff. And we shipped out like 20,000 face shields all over the country, and we were a central point for the sewn masks. Sew Some Good Greenville, kind of headquartered out of here.
Oh wow!
And we distributed like 80,000 masks in and out of here. So that, that's let us keep things going. And then I had another company that had a project that they needed done, doing onesies and twosies of bathroom faucet fixture displays. And so basically those projects kept us afloat. And so we kept going, and didn't take any government money, and didn't, paid the bills.
Right.
So, and then Next Manufacturing was like super awesome and worked with us to get through that. So yeah, that was a huge moment. That was a big impact of, oh crap, what are we going to do?
Right. Our members can't come in.
Yeah. And so that was a bizarre time. Let's see what else. We had a laser cutter burn up. That was a oh shit. Yeah. It was one of those days. I got the phone call. But somebody was using it, and they stepped out to go to the bathroom or something. And while they were out, it was like a couple minutes, and the thing caught fire and tried to burn the building down.
Oh no!
And so, it kicked off the sprinkler and all that kind of stuff. And I got a phone call just moments after that, and I drove from where I was. It was about 15 minutes away, and all the drive down here, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna kick us out. That's it. Yeah, I burnt the building down. I'm just done.
Did you have to put in other parameters or guardrails of like, okay, now we got to do waivers. We got to do like, did you change the bit like business at all, or is it just kind of, all right, it's an accident that happened?
Yeah, well, we do have waivers in place, and we do have training in place and all those kinds of things. It's just there was that one moment in time that things got away, and I walked into fire trucks and water. There was an inch and a half of water in here, and I was thinking, oh man, it's just everything is lost. We're done. And,
Oh.
and so that was a moment. And the crazy thing is, when we got this place cleaned up, like the next day, everything was clean, and you couldn't tell that there had been a fire,
Yeah.
with the exception that there was, like there was some char above the
laser.
and people were like, are you sure you had a fire in here? I was like, I'm pretty sure we did. Here's the picture. But yeah, and we recovered from that, and it was one of the fastest bounce backs that we had in a couple of days that a thing like that happened. But yeah, we seem to be quite resilient with those things, and it goes back to, if that guy knew what I knew about how to run that machine, and so that brings out the leadership, right? It brings out, here's how I've got to create the culture and what I know, because people are going to behave at the level of what they understand.
Right.
And so it's on me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was interested. I was just in a conversation, I think yesterday, that somebody was asking it, because I also run an agency. So it was a bunch of agency founders and leaders that were talking about the struggle in marketing and agencies. Is it leadership, or is it more training? And training as in, we need to train our clients as well as our team, or do we need to have more leadership in the agencies? And it's like that combination of chicken or egg, right? Is it leadership, but is it really just the lack of training that kind of helps to set the expectations, helps to teach lessons, both at the client side, kind of like, but then somebody was like, well, that is leadership. And I'm like, so that's what we were having this big debate of, what is it?
Yeah. But there's training, and then there's development, right? You can train somebody to do something, but there's a development that you need to develop somebody. And even in when you delegate something to somebody, it's not just giving them a task to do, but it's teaching them how to think like you think,
right,
to get something done. And so it's developing the person, not just training them to do something, right?
That's a good perspective. Yeah.
And there are tasks, like when I train camera operators to do video stuff, and the first layer is how to run the camera, and the second layer on top of I put it in layers, right? A layer to run the camera, a layer to how to do a picture, a layer of how to follow directions, and a layer of how to be aware of what's going on. Well, the thing is, you can't train somebody on those upper layers. You can only train them on the mechanics of what's happening, and then you have to develop them and then let them practice. I mean, that has to happen on their, in their mind, with their eyes, doing the thing. Just like with the tools, I can train you to run the table saw, but I need to develop you as a creative, aware, give you the space to be creative, and then teach you to be aware, or show you how to be aware and let you develop that awareness.
Right.
It takes both, I think.
You're right. So how are you doing that? Are you pulling people aside one-on-one? Are you holding little workshops?
Yeah. Well, COVID was a divide for us, because before COVID, we had classes nearly every night on just about everything, from sewing to laser cutting, 3D, all of that. And so when COVID happened, we kind of had to pivot away from that, obviously. So we went to more of a mentor model, where if somebody requests, hey, I want to learn how to do, I want to learn how to run the laser cutter, we'll partner up with them one-on-one, and have that a good understanding of where they want to go and what they want to do, and help them figure that out and assist them in making that happen. So it's much more effective, I think, when you have a person-to-person mentorship or apprenticeship or guidance or whatever that's called. We've found that's really successful for us. And we do have classes. We do have a welding discovery class, which is it's a 4-person class. But that one-on-one, let me show you, you do it with me, you do it, I'll watch, and then I'm going to turn you loose on it. And that kind of lets them gain enough confidence, and be able to put into reality what they have in their head.
Right. All right. And kind of have their custom path that with some oversight and protection.
Yeah, and you need to have that. I mean, some things aren't like some of our equipment is elderly. I've had it for 40 years,
Right.
and it has quirks, and you need to know where to tighten it and loosen it and not do some things. And so having that one-on-one is super important to get someone oriented to what's going on.
Yeah. So what's next for SynergyMill? Like what, or for Joey? Like what's the growth plan? What what's your game plan moving forward?
Well, there's been another little Great Divide thing that happened back in 2014 when I posted the concept of SynergyMill on that Greenville. I don't know if you've ever seen that or that was long. Yeah. But the concept was to have a network of makerspaces because once you set one down in a community, you've kind of drawn lines. Like I have very few people that come from Simpsonville or Travelers Rest,
right?
But I have a lot of people that come from right down the street. So network of makerspaces where we shared tools, we shared safety classes, we shared people, we shared events,
right? Shared resources, the opera, all that.
And so you could come here to take a safety class, and it would be the same safety class that we would get you in Travelers Rest or Simpsonville or Malden or wherever we set one down. And so the SynergyMill kind of pivoted into a makerspace making organization. So and so SynergyMill, the organization, has spun off its first workshop, which happens to be called SynergyMill. It saved us on some marketing materials.
Yeah. Well, it's a good name.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Super awesome. So yeah, we want to make more makerspaces to take this concept out and around, and we've talked to Greer and some other cities around. Travelers Rest was one, and other companies that. The cool thing is they don't have to invent a makerspace, or they don't have to put one together. And if you're trying to, if you're a college and you're trying to build a makerspace, all sorts of problems show up. Like who owns the equipment? How do we get it in there? Can we do projects? Because this,
all the rules.
Right? Who can use it? Who can't use it? If somebody breaks a laser cutter, whose budget does it come? I mean, it turns into a big thing,
right?
But if you could come to SynergyMill and say, hey, we have a room, and we'll charge you, basically rental,
right?
Just populate it, make it work, bring your system in, bring your people in, and whatever, and it makes it super simple on the books for them to have it just appear, and that's what we like. That's what we want to do. That's what's it's the direction that it's going in.
Because you could pop up anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's a scalable business model.
We hope so. Yeah, and the gymnasium thing, right? I mean, it's exactly that. So it's a familiar model, and it's a familiar way of what processes that you need, what kind of marketing you need, all that
right. Stuff. So if you could hit rewind and do things differently, would you have launched it that way? Or would you do anything else differently if you could hit just a rewind button?
I'd buy a lot of Bitcoin. Hindsight, right?
That's right.
Actually, what happened was that was the vision, was that we would be a makerspace maker, and in establishing this first one with all of the learning how to do it, learning how to get tools in, how to get insurance, how do you all right. of the stuff, processes of making the place work. And will people even like this? There are no maker spaces in Greenville. Why? Because nobody thought about it, or because nobody needs one? I mean, you got to look at that, right? I don't want to make something that nobody wants. That's like entrepreneur fail 101, right?
Right.
So so we really started out thinking how we could make this expandable and extensible and duplicatable.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask Chris. Chris, I'm getting some. Are you hearing feedback on me?
I think we're hearing it from speakers coming back in the microphone on his side.
Okay. Can you hear it though?
Very slightly.
But we can wipe that out. Yeah. Okay. Post. Just I kept hearing myself, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate to hear myself. Sorry, Joey, for the interruption. Where do you think you have struggled the most in your journey? Even if it's before SynergyMill, like where do you feel like you were like, oh, this is where I struggle?
Oh yeah. After an extensive amount of self-examination, navel gazing, one of I did that Strength Finders thing, and but my top 5 is futuristic, focus, or number 1 is focus, futuristic, ideation, stuff like that, deliberative, all of those like really strong leader, visionary kind of things. And then the bottom end of the list are things that I really liked, like or I wanted, like peace and love and all of the soft skills kinds of things. Those are the most important to me, but they were at the bottom end of my strengths chart. So
that was me.
Yeah, and
it's kind of depressing.
Yeah, it is. My coach looked at me and said, "You're messed up," and I was like, "I know." But one of those things that I really honed in on is being over responsible, and it's come from that being that only child that had to get stuff done, and so yeah, I can get stuff done, and I have that power to make things happen and to finish the project. But what it costs me is I don't have friends that help, and I'm not developing people around me, and I'm being over responsible and taking all the blame or all of paying all the bills.
Right.
And that's being responsible is good up to a point, but being over responsible is that thing that I have really identified as one of my problems that I really have to pay attention to, and I really have to work on and put in place. Force myself to put in place guards that keep me from getting that far, because it just messes everything up.
Yeah.
If something happened to me, stuff would stop, and we don't want that.
Right. Yeah, we had that was a not the over response, but mine was just all the skill sets of relationship, like the personal experience and relationship building, like all those soft skills were not in my top at all, like top 15. A lot of were in the bottom. And I was like, oh, because my strengths were, more in the educator, the doer, the activator, the integrator, the thinker, the problem solver, all of those. But yeah, I've had to put some guardrails in place and bring, in my world, it was more putting it into a process of I've got to make a process for making those relationships and putting it in that or that the education part of it, because I love to teach and educate, and that's where I'm leaning into it to go. That's how I'm developing relationships, through education.
Yeah.
And service. But yeah, that was kind of like, oh, I have none of the soft skills of like person that should be running a company.
Yeah. Empathy was one of those that I discovered, and it was like empathy and compassion, and really and you have to get in those spaces, right? You have to get in that to understand your customer, and you have to get in to understand all the people around you, and then to understand yourself, and yeah, that was a big learning thing for me.
Yeah, it was. And then when you take it very personal when people don't want to work for you. I've gotten over that though. That was like I've learned to overcome some of those, but yeah, it's a challenge. Some of those self-discovery is is there. Those are some aha moments, definitely. Well, what keeps you up at night? Like,
Yeah, what keeps me up
Yeah.
specifically is that over responsibility. I'm thinking, how the heck am I going to make sure all of the bills get paid here? That kind of thing. And we've run into some times where like in the last couple of months I had 5 or 6 or 7 people quit, and it's not that they quit. It's like they got sent to Germany with the military, and they're going back to school in Raleigh.
Oh, no.
I mean, it was good. It was all good stuff of people kind of graduating out and doing their thing. But now, wow, I've got to do the marketing. I got to recruit people. I've got to, have, all of those kinds of things, because that's off the end of our rent. So to keep things moving, and then enter that over responsibility. Well, I still have enough money in my checking account. I can make up for the rent. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
We want to build this so that there's an exit, right? And that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, is that you can walk away from it and either go on by its own, or you're done, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you're captured. You're just self-employed instead of just employed. So
that's a good way to put. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, self-employed's not. You can have some entrepreneurship tendencies, but that's not being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Entrepreneur is where we have an exit strategy.
Right.
And so developing that exit strategy and developing those processes that keep things going on beyond, so that I can retire or start something else, or do what I want to do.
Right.
And this investment of my life. I mean, 7 years is a long time to be doing the thing. It's a significant investment of my life. You want it to be worth something, and keep going and be a valuable thing to the community of Greenville. I mean, that's what's at stake, right? So being able to look forward and have that exit is super important.
When do you think that will be? You're looking at like a 3-year out? You're hoping by like year 10?
I gave myself 5.
Okay. But COVID messed everybody up.
Yeah. So essentially we started over a year or 2 ago, right?
We're giving all of us entrepreneurs, we're giving ourselves a 2-3 year. Let's just put that aside, and let's say we're starting over. We just let those, they don't count.
Yeah, a soft reset, and I think that's cool, and we should do that, because a lot of the stuff that we were doing before COVID was not really sustainable,
right?
And so and it's definitely not sustainable now with the way that the culture has changed, and society's changed, and the rules have changed, and the economics have changed. And we have to be flexible to be able to do that. And so to hit a soft reset was, hey, that was good timing.
Yeah. Really. Could take a step back and go, where are we going? Yeah. Yep. So if you had to give advice to other founders, what's like the 3 pieces of advice you'd give them?
What was that
other
joke
entrepreneurs
about it was that there was a joke about how to make a small fortune. Well, you start with a big fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one of the number one things that I learned from myself was that I really needed to have good relationships and a big brother. And that's one of the cool things about Next Manufacturing, is that we had, at that time, 7 years ago, we had a big brother that I could say, hey, I'm a Next CEO, and I'm next this and next that, and it carried weight with that. And having that big brother was super important for us to get going. Of course, now times have changed, and that was one of my oh shit moments. It was like, we don't have.
Where did our next big brother go?
Yeah. I was like, they're doing something different. I mean, it's
pivoted. Good. It's good, but you're right. They kind of pivoted.
It's not the same thing. And I called them up. I was like, hey, what's this Next CEO thing? Am I still one of those? And they're like, no, you're not. Okay. So, stuff changed, right? But having that relationship with someone who can help validate what you got going on, and can help at least make you think they're holding a net for you, to get things started and to really reach out and stand on those shoulders to get going. I think is a thing to do it, not to try to do it all by yourself, because that's a good way.
It's hard.
Well, it's the most expensive way. It's the least creative way. It takes the most work if you do it all by yourself. But if you have a team, what is that thing? If you want to go far, you go by yourself. If you want to, I remember, if you want to go fast, you go by yourself. If you want to go far,
go further.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, have a team, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times founder, like entrepreneur, we gotta kind of swallow that pride, have some humility to be able to be open to enter some of the community spaces like the founder community, entrepreneur community, because it's hard to sometimes enter those spaces because it's intimidating.
Sure.
But
yeah.
you gotta break down that wall and just go, you know what? I'm in it. I need to learn. I need the connections.
Exactly.
So what's the other advice?
Well, follow the good entrepreneurial things. If you don't have a customer, you don't have a business straight away. And then if you don't have an exit strategy, you aren't an entrepreneur. So number one, number two, that's like, don't set a corporate structure until you know how you're going to get out of it. So what's the exit strategy, right? So all of those things at the end, as Stephen Covey said, right?
Right. Have the end in mind.
In mind. Start with the end in mind. So those kinds of things, and again, that's going to dictate pretty much everything, right? How you do your marketing, how you structure your employees, how all of the stuff that happens.
The operations and the systems of it's not just you being self-employed. Yeah, that was my one. I did the Minority Business Accelerator program, which was great here, and in the local market, and it was like an MBA on your business as the example. And then I did the 10,000 small business program, which was like a fire hydrant comparatively of, much deeper dive on, but that, they audited our process and our operations. And they were like, you need to work on your operations so you don't have them. Like they're minimal. You need to go deep. You need financial operations. You don't have them. You have an accounting system. You don't have a financial operation. But the biggest thing they started with, the very first homework assignment was write the narrative of your exit. Not just like, where do you want to be? Like, write the narrative. If you were telling the story of, time frame and stuff. And that was because I had never, I was like, well, I'm doing this because this is what I love to do, but I'd never thought of how to describe it in detail. And that really helped shape everything for me. That was a big aha for me. Yeah. And a lot of my cohort was like 150 founders across the US. And we all talked about that. Like, no one has ever asked us that question. People have said, okay, why are you in it? What are you going to do? Are you going to sell? But not to the level that we were told to do it in the way that we were told to write it out. And that's a great piece of advice of what is the exit? What's the plan?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then work backwards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Joe, what would be something that our listeners or me would be surprised to know about you?
I'm human. I'm
shared.
I'm a human. No, that's a joke there. But what would you be surprised?
Got any fun quirks?
Well, yeah.
Well, you said you're a musician.
Yeah, I do that. Guitar player, bass player, keyboard player. I got married in May, which is really cool. Me and my wife, we've been together for 5 years, and the accountants and attorneys said it's okay to get married now. So we had we had kids and stuff and all of that in schools, and so it worked out. And
congratulations.
it's been absolutely smooth, and Christy is just absolutely amazing. And she gets me. She understands what's going on here.
She gets the way you think, that you said you don't think like everybody else.
True. So that's awesome. That's happened recently. I do have quirks. I like to collect bugs sometimes.
Whoa, that's a good one. What do you mean by collect bugs? Like
interesting ones, like Hercules beetles. I look for those.
Do you have like in your shelf behind you? Do you have like a bin with like jars with bugs in it?
There's not in here, but there are in my truck. I have one in my truck, and I do have a box at home of Japanese beetles, that very large Japanese with the big tufts in front. We have spiders.
Live?
Actually, outside we have some live spiders that, and Christy's she's not sure about the bug thing and all of that, but right outside the window we have one of the Argiope spiders that's spinning the web, and doing her thing, and that's been fun for us. And the cats sit at the window and look out. But we have 3 cats. I'm a cat person.
Nice.
We have a black cat named Junior, a tortie cat named Stella, and a elderly deaf cat named Cotton.
Oh.
She's 17 and just darling, and she's a bookshelf cat, which is really neat because every night we take her out and put her on the bookshelf and she sleeps on the books. It's just really cute. So.
Gotta enjoy those. My childhood cat I had for 19 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Her name was Snoopy. She was a tortoise. Well, we are out of time, Joey. Is there anything that that you didn't get to share that you love to share? And then how can people connect with you and find more information about SynergyMill and about you?
Yeah, you can find us at SynergyMill.com. And there's a calendar there that shows our events. There's pictures there. There's stories there. You can make a donation there because we're a nonprofit. And get you a tax deduction in before the end of the year.
And you're saying that people can donate not just, obviously money, but like tools and things for people to make things.
That's correct. Yes.
Fantastic.
We can help you with that as well. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook. SynergyMill.com is our central spot. So look for us there.
Well, very good. I looked up, I was like, holy crap, we're out of time. And Kristen laughs at me every time because I say, I can't believe how fast these things go.
It was great. It was really quick. Awesome.
So thanks for everybody for hanging out with us live. Again, we release our podcast every Sunday, so check us out. And thanks for watching, and you can watch this or listen to this. This podcast, again, will be released this Sunday, available on all podcast platforms. So subscribe and download Hello Chaos. Like, comment, and share this great content and help us grow and build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. Orange Whip is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs across affiliate cities. We are 100% free. We like sponsors and underwriters. So if there's interest in sponsoring us, please email us at hello@orangewhip, WIP, that's orangewhip.com. And you can also subscribe. We are, again, one-stop content hub just for founders, delivered in a weekly email every Sunday. We are currently in 3 markets in South Carolina, the upstate area, Greenville and beyond, Midlands, which is Columbia, and Charleston, the Low Country, with goals to expand in 30 cities in 5 years. Check out the latest edition that we just dropped. It is highlighting how to build wealth and financial literacy for founders and entrepreneurs. Some great stories, great photography. Go subscribe. It's free, and enjoy. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast, go to orangewhip.com, and fill out the form there, or you can always send us an email again at hello@orangewhip.com. Y'all, thank you for tuning in into Hello Chaos. It's where aha meets oh shit. I am your host, Jennifer Sutton, aka JJ, and we will see you again next week.